All right, family. We live once again with the general. We got that five for you tonight. We're gonna be talking about the support Detroit had for South Africa in a lot of the cities, over 11 cities in the United States. That Mandela came over after he got out of prison and came over and got hella support from Black America. You see that he took back to help fund the ANC, who was fighting for liberation over there in South Africa. So we showing the support that we have for Africa. Detroit is one of them cities. Real talk. You feel what I'm saying? Black Mecca. You see, when he came to goddamn Detroit, he thought he was back in South Africa. He said, man, you talking about a city over 1 million people. You understand? Back then, when he came, Detroit was still over 1 million. And you talking about a city that was 80, you talking about over 800,000, damn near 850,000 blacks in one damn city. Not in this surrounding, in this heart. You see what I'm saying? When he came to goddamn Detroit, he thought he was back in South Africa. He said, damn, you know what I'm saying? Love was all over the place, you see? So we show, but this is the higher, the higher frequency energy that our people can show for one another. You see what I'm saying? This is the higher energy frequency that our people can show for one another. The fact that he came and our people was able to exchange, support and love for one another. This is the greater example of what our people can do, not the lower frequency shit. See, not the lower frequency shit that people's is engaging in today. And seeing, a lot of nations, and we're gonna talk about particularly Detroit. And I believe when he came in 1990, he went to New York. He went to I think he went to Boston. He went to Detroit. He went to Los Angeles. He went to Atlanta. He went to Oakland. It's a few. I don't know all the cities. I believe it was 11 cities. So I got to get all 11 cities. And matter of fact, let me see. All 11. When he came up out of the United States, he had about close to $7 to $8 million. Let me see what cities he went to. Let's see. He went to New York, Boston, D.C., Atlanta, Detroit, Los Angeles, Oakland, Miami. Those were the 11. New York, Boston, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Detroit, Los Angeles, Oakland, Miami. Yeah, so yeah, and so yeah, he came and got something like $7 million. Yeah, thank you, family. Yeah, we talking about over $7 million that Mandela got out of he came and was donated to Mandela and his fight, because the people, we was fighting right here. It's the same fight. It's just in a different part of the world. Same fight. Apartheid, Jim Crow. Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Winnie. Oh, we always celebrate Winnie Mandela. All day, every day. And we must say Winnie Mandela, because she was she was the grassroots leader when he was locked up. She was still out there on the grounds. You know what I'm saying? Still out there, putting in work. But we just showing what we could do for one another in the best of ourselves, not the worst of ourselves, in the best of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And when we seen that, I still didn't like, how things went down, some of the things that went down, but I understand the process. I understand the process that you have to take steps, but keep making the steps. It seemed like we was making some small steps, one big step, but then we took some small steps, and then we stopped taking steps. We didn't take no more steps. You see, I didn't like the fact that the clerk became the vice president during, but that's okay because I knew he was gonna get rid of him eventually. I knew he was gonna get rid of him eventually. But but this is to show South Africa right now today that you talking about where you at today. You understand what I'm saying? It's a lot of nations that help you. You understand? Many of them ANC activists, a lot of them had to flee. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of them had to seek refuge. You see what I'm saying? And so many African nations around Africa supported them in that fight for apartheid. You know what I'm saying? To see our people be gunned down and and the atrocities. I even talked about the one motherfucker, Dr. Death, down there. And I got videos on there. You can go look where I talked about that and how he was actually, in the chemical labs and shit, trying to genetically develop a biological weaponry. You see what I'm saying? To wipe our peoples out. And they still, and still today, they have not, they found him guilty on something, but I think he's still operating in South Africa right now today. You see what I'm saying? But that's just how them Neanderthals move. They look out for one another. You see, they look out for one another. So, when we start talking about, developing the country and shit and this, that, and the third, talk about the help that was given in the beginning. You wouldn't, how did you think, you was, the fight, you understand, the get Mandela into power and all that. And, it was coming from, forces outside of South Africa. And that's how it was all over. You understand what I'm saying? You had to get help from the outside, to be victorious. You see, to be victorious. So shit, you got to know that before you get to bumping off at y'all gums about some shit. I know everybody, they should know that. They should know that. They should know that. If you don't know your history, then that just show you. Y'all bumping off and y'all ain't going nowhere because at the same time, it's the root cause. Back then, y'all was fighting the root cause. Now y'all don't fight y'all was back there when apartheid, it was clear who the root cause was. It was clear. You understand? When we could see right on the damn videos what the root cause. Now today, you own no more land than you did back then. You don't own no more land. You own no more economic wealth than back then. Now all of a sudden you act like you don't know what the root cause is. Make that shit make sense to me. And so now, because you have stopped the fight, because obviously you thought you won some, because you got a little political power, but yeah, you got some black faces in the presidency, but the economic, you understand, wealth remain with the Afrikaner, remain with the whites in South Africa. It never exchanged. The ownership of the land remained with whites. No different than up here. No different in America. Ain't nothing changed. They still own, and we have more than what we got today. And they finessed us out of that. I don't know how they finessed us out of goddamn 19 million acres and shit of land, and and so it's the same fight. They supported them. That's why Donald Trump was bringing Afrikaners over here not long ago. And to my understanding, they may still be coming in, on the slick tip because so much shit is going on. Y'all done forgot about the Afrikaners coming over here to take the farmland and shit like that. And Elon Musk rat, you see, and now he's the richest man in the world. And then you go down there, uh, 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 uh what's his name? The president, Ramaphosa, down there in South Africa, come to the White House, bring Rupert, whatever the white boy named Rupert, I don't know what's his first name, and he's the richest man in South Africa. And then second behind him is Nikki Oppenheimer. You see the Oppenheimers and the De Beers that didn't rob the whole damn country out of his diamond wealth and shit and all of that. And so you can go over there to 20 richest people in South Africa. I believe one is black. All the rest of them is white. They own all the wealth. They own all the land. And you wonder what the problem is. See, back then when you was really out there on the ground and y'all was marching, see how niggas is running today? They running and jumping on black immigrants and shit. And you understand? Back then, goddamn it, you knew who you was scrapping with the Caucasian. You was scrapping with them Afrikaners and them Boers. Now today, you didn't act like you didn't won something. You ain't won nothing. You ain't won nothing. The fight wasn't over. The fight was just beginning. But y'all fell asleep. Y'all fell asleep. Y'all looking up at 1, 2, 3 peoples and shit, and it was it was talking about giving the land back to people. Ain't gave the land back. What's taking so damn long? You see what I'm saying? That's where y'all should be running down there to Ramaphosa and that goddamn government down there and ask them why hasn't the land transferred? What is going on? You need to be farming. You need to be digging. See, they know the land. See, if they give you the land back, they know it's diamonds and gold and all that in the land. So they don't want to give you the land back because they know that's where it's at. You know what I'm saying? They need to if nothing else, they need to nationalize all the diamond mines, all the gold mines. They need to nationalize it, and then distribute the wealth of that to the people. Straight up. You understand what I'm saying? Distribute it to the upliftment of the nation, infrastructure and everything else, and cut these people, every South African, a check. You understand what I'm saying? Until they could develop themselves, get themselves going, get the economy going. They need to nationalize all resources in South Africa. That's what they need to do. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not going to get no more wealth off of, and while the majority of the people is down there looking for a way out. I understand the frustration, but we can't go to issues and beat up people, beat up other African that's weak. Even, I understand our people don't like criminal. Ain't no bigger criminal in there than Rupert and Oppenheimer and goddamn all them. Ain't no bigger criminal than Elon Musk and them and his daddy that robbed the people and got rich off the wealth of the land, off of African people's land where they didn't get nothing. They ain't got a damn dollar. They didn't get 1 red cent. So that's where it come, whether you got to nationalize the land and make it about the people. And you understand what I'm saying? Until you can get it developed where you can get economy in there, and then you can, get them some job, build the cities up, build the housing up, get our people out them damn slums and shit, build them some houses, build them some schools where they can teach their history and develop the minds, the young minds, to be ready for the next generation of jobs that's coming. That's what you need to do. You understand what I'm saying? The people down there can't take no more. I understand the frustration, but they got to go to their higher self. They got to go to their higher self. They can't go to their lower self and find the cause. The cause has always been the Neanderthal, the damn brute, the damn white supremacy has always been the root cause. Y'all cannot be seen jumping on black people. I understand the criminality. I understand nobody wants criminality. You can run, you can enforce laws, you can enforce statutes, you can enforce policies without becoming and reverting to scumbag organizations, government scumbagness. Meaning you now you gonna turn on the the less the lesser. You understand, and take out all your energy on the lesser, and then have no smoke for the root cause. You cannot do that. But anyway, family, I appreciate y'all getting out here. Make sure y'all get over there to Patreon. We got that work over there. Go get it. There, he over in there with that D on. I mean, Adam and Eve, ancient vampirism exposed, evidence of the modern troglodyte. If y'all would have came over to SETI and got that work, you'll know what you're dealing with. You'll know what the root cause is. Get over there, get that work, and I'll see you in a minute, family. Black power.